this year or the last 2 years. Okay. You have to really, first you got to fight for your culture. It's a daily thing to fight for. You have to fight for the culture you want in your program. And it's not just, you just don't all of a sudden come up with it. I mean, your culture is what you do every day. That's what your culture is. It's not your X's and O's. That's really your culture. Because if you're a good coach, you're going to have to change your X's and O's. You're going to have to change on a yearly basis. I mean, you don't have the same kids. At least I don't. You have different players. You have different players coming up. Even if you have 3 or 4 returning players, you still have new players coming in. So I think you really have to change, not necessarily change everything, but you've got to evaluate where you're at and then make those adjustments. That's part of your culture. So I was there for 8 years, and then went back to my alma mater, high school, for 28 years. I said, you know what, I'd never go back to my alma mater where I played high school basketball at, but things change. And a great opportunity for my wife and family. So I was there for 28 years. I was athletic director. And the best job I ever had, coaching high school basketball and teaching elementary PE. Best job I ever had. That was a great job. You learn elementary PE, you learn how to be patient. You learn how to explain things really well. And that helped me be a better coach. So I did that for several years in combination, and I was athletic director as well. After 27 of those years, I retired from being AD, and I coached for a year, and I will get to still coach after being retired. So I retired, still coached a year, and then Iowa City High School administration called me, wanted to know if I would be interested in coming to Iowa City and trying to turn their program into a competitive one. They had won a state tournament actually in the early 2000s. And did very, very poor until that time, from that time on. So my job was to go in and really change the culture around. And after 4 years, I think we did a pretty good job. It was a lot of work. It took a lot of work from not only my part, but getting our young kids to where they could play the game of basketball. And if you guys are in a school system, obviously, and have control of your younger players, you really have to do a job with those young kids. I'm talking 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th graders. If you have no contact with those age groups, and you're a high school varsity coach, you better get some contact with those age groups, because that sets a tone for you. You're going to have a hard time building your culture, building a program without having some input to what those guys are doing at that level. First time I went to one of our practices with I think this was the 3rd grade or 4th grade, when I went to City High, and we started on that. I knew we weren't going to win many games the first 2 years. We had administration that back me. They said, well, I said, if you're going into a school system that has been struggling, you're going to need at least 4 years to turn that around, unless you get transferred. Or something, which we don't get. We didn't get. But you're going to have at least 4 to 5 years, and you're going to have the administration back you. And I think that's what it takes to turn a culture around. Anyway, I went to my first 3rd or 4th grade practice, and the coach did the first 20 minutes. He did set plays. He did set plays the first 20 minutes. Horns, ball screen. Second 20 minutes, he did some shooting free throws. And then the last 20 minutes, he scrimmaged 5-on-5. I'm going, really? I mean, these are the kids I'm going to have in about 4 or 5 years, and I expect them to understand the game of basketball. So we had to revamp our whole youth system. And I think that if you have control of that, you really got to look what your youth coaches and your youth players are doing. I don't know how much control you have, but that's extremely important in the success you have and in the culture you have at the high school level. How many are high school head coaches here? Okay. How many are assistant coaches? Okay. So you're part of that deal. How many are JV coaches? Okay. So you're part of that deal too. So we expect our JV coach, our whole staff to really get involved with our youth program. Let me give you, this might be good just to pass on. And I apologize, some of you were in here earlier. You're going to hear some of the same stuff. Let me give you 5 musts of coaching youth basketball. And this is something I came up with years ago when we started. That we have our youth coaches have to do. Number 1, you must play man-to-man. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, must play man-to-man. I don't want you to play full court man. I don't want you to play half court zone. You must play man-to-man. That's really important. And now, 8th grade, we will start letting them play some zone. And some pressing. So, but I think really from 7th grade on down, they have to play man-to-man all the time. And half court man. And, you may not win some games because you're playing half court man-to-man. You know what? That's okay. That'll make a difference. Too many coaches in your system are worried about winning wins and losses. And you can't be worried about wins and losses in 7th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd grade. I know you support some of the places you play. That's why you coach. That's why they coach. That's why you play the game. But you cannot be concerned because if you wanted to win every game, you'd have a kid that's 5 inches taller. You put him in the lane, throw the ball every time he's going to shoot. That's what's going to happen if you're worried about winning at that level. So I think you have to convince your lower level coaches. Got to play man to man. Number 2, you must develop skills. And I thought that was going without said because when I came from Prairie to City High, we did that. So I just kind of thought everybody did that. Not everybody does that. And so you have to develop skills. You've got to teach passing. You've got to do 3 things every day. I think this is the high school level. Pass and catch. You've got to pass and catch with your players. Do some drills of passing and catching. The best teams that you play against can really pass the ball and they can really catch it. Now, how simple is that? You got to pass and catch. Second thing you have to do every day is you better do some shooting every day. There's some practices and there's no shots being taken because they're playing sets and they're going 5-on-5, so you don't get shooting practice. So you better do some shooting. Third thing you have to do every day is do footwork. You've got to work on some footwork drills. Pivoting, jump stopping. That makes the game easier. Players always, some players go, why are we doing all these? Because your games will never get better unless your fundamentals get better. Your skills, they don't get better, your games will get better. So those are 3 things I think we have to do every day. Number 3, you must develop skills in a fun way. And I'm talking about if you're conducting your youth, if you're going down to your youth, there's got to be an element of fun for your youth kids, and even your high school kids. But if you're in charge of the program, this is one thing I think you need to tell your youth. You got to play some fun games with them. Play tag games with them while they're dribbling. I'm an elementary PE teacher, so we play. One of the favorite games of our elementary kids was Shark Minnows. You know how to play Shark Minnows? Yeah. Everybody's a minnow. There's one shark out here. You tag them and then they become a shark and right from one end to the other. They're getting a lot of skill, but yet they're enjoying it. So I think if you're in charge of your youth program, I think that's really huge. Number 4, we tell our youth coaches, you got to be on the same page as us as a head coach. Here's what I want you to do, and you have to be on the same page. And I know you might have dads and coaching their kids in 3rd grade or 4th grade, but they still have to understand what you want them. And that's really important. They just can't go out and do their own thing. And then the last thing, I think is probably the most important is you must instill a love for the game. Not only at the young level, at your level you're coaching, at war level, you got to instill a love of the game. You don't instill love of the game by doing what Mike Rice did. But how can you go to practice every day and love the game? You know, you're not going to get a third grader loving the game when you're yelling and screaming at it on the court for not finding a man. You know, that doesn't develop a love of the game. And players who develop a love of the game are going to be better players. And we want them to play longer. You know, we want them to play after they're out of high school. It should not be the end of their playing career, even if they don't go on and play college basketball. So it's still a love of the game. Have a passion. So I think those are 5 really important things that we try to instill in our youth coaches when I first came to City Eye, and that really helped our program. Tremendously helped what we did in our program. Now, let me give you some comment. I'm going to jump up a little bit here. Let me use some common mistakes high school coaches make and evaluate what we're doing. Number 1, I think the common mistake, first one, taking a bad job. There's some jobs that are just bad. You know, so you have to evaluate if you have a chance to take a job as a bad job. You know, if you don't have administration behind you, if you're going from 7th grade to 8th grade, if you don't have the backing of your high school coach, you don't have the backing of administration, maybe there's not a lot of there's some unrealistic expectations. It's a bad job, you know. So I think over the years, in my 42 years, I did have opportunities to go to coach at the college level. A lot of it was, if the head coach gets fired, I'm out with him. I don't want to live that way. For me personally, I thought I did when I first got out of college, but I found I don't really want to live that way. A lot of buddies of mine that have been in coaching are selling insurance now. You know, I'm not an insurance salesman. I'm a coach. That's what I want to do. So that's why I stayed in high school. I think even longer than I thought I would, and stayed with every year we have to get better. If I don't come to a clinic like this and learn something, or if I don't come to a clinic and validate something I'm doing, then I'm not improving my craft. How many heard Mike Dunlap yesterday? Did you have any questions on what he said? I know Mike's a good friend of mine, and I know his clinic talk was a little different, right? What was different about it? What did you think was a little different about it?
Terminology.
Huh?
Terminology.
Terminology is a little different, yeah.
Fast. He talks fast.
Talk fast, for sure.
Basically play 5-on-5 instead of.
Right, we talked about that, when he talked about yesterday, it isn't necessarily stuff he does, but it's stuff that he wants, that he gets him thinking and made you think. So when he said a statement of, you should do more scrimmaging in practice, I think that had a lot of just thought-provoking things. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm still, we don't do a lot of scrimmaging in practice. And so maybe if I coached at a college level, I would do more scrimmaging. But at a high school level, I don't. But that's where we're improving our craft because it gets you thinking. And so I think that's really, really important. Number 3, too much complaining to officials. I think we do. I should not be saying it because I am not very good with officials. The best thing is, sometimes when I coach with internationally, the best thing is the officials can understand me. That's great. You tell them anything when today. Yeah, they just shake their head, yes. It's even better. But what I think this does, it gives your players an excuse. So the more you complain to officials, it makes your players have an excuse. Well, coach would think the officials were really good. So I think we really got to be careful of that. And, are there very good officials in our state? No. But live with them. And they're even worse than some they live. So, number 4, not spending enough time in practice on special situations. I I think Mike covered this a little bit yesterday. You know, last second things. What made me a better coach when I started coaching the international game was the 24-second shot clock. You know, because we had to work in a lot of special situations. And so it made me a better coach. What else made me a better coach is if you're in international competition, you cannot call a timeout while the ball's alive. So you have to have your players play through that. So if I want a timeout, I got to tell the bench I want a timeout, you want a dead ball. But that made me a better coach. So better prepared for that. So special situations, out of bounds plays, last second things, how to get a shot, a three, you know, just those kind of things. It's funny how in my earlier career, you know, day before game, oh yeah, let's see, we better set up the last shot here. You know, you try to plug it in. So I think we don't spend enough time on that. Number 5, excessive talking in practice. Not enough reps. I think one of the things that we as coaches, one of my favorite sayings is, basketball is overcoached and undertaught. It's a simple game. Coaches make it hard. Coaches make it hard. It's a simple game. So, you know, players don't want to hear how much you know. They just want to have you give them something to make them a better player, and then they'll work on that. So excessive talking, not enough reps. How many heard Kevin Eastman? Great speaker. Heard him a dozen times. Had a chance to speak to his coaching youth classes, of course, as well. But you know, one of his, I call it Kevin Eastmanism, is teaching in sound bites, not paragraphs. I don't know if he said that when he was here. But teaching sound bites, not paragraphs. You know, so we even have, you know, during our practice session, if I want to talk to a player, I'll pull him out and visit with him out while the drill's still going on. Or I'll have one of my assistants do that. So I think that's important. Number 6, these are top 10 mistakes high school coaches make. Number 6, not spending enough time off the court with your players. I think you just come for 2 hours on the court and then don't see them after that. I think you're not building the culture you want to build. Culture is what you do daily with your team to develop what you want done. That's your culture. So sometimes I think we spend way too much time, not enough time off the court. I think we get to know them a little better. They get to know you. I think players need to get to know you off the court because I'll tell you what, you're a different person on the court. We all are. You're a different person. And so they see that, they only see that side of you. It's hard to build a relationship. Number 7, more practice devoted to fundamentals. And I gave you 3 of them. We practice every day: passing, shooting, and footwork. We're so concerned about maybe sometime getting another set in that we're going to work on this passing drill today, or shooting. We're going to cut the shooting down from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. Team can't develop that way. Number 8, I call this about not worrying about who's the boss. Sometimes we coach, as coaches, we're just worried about, I'm going to show them who's the boss. I got to get on the line when we're at 10 sprints. Don't worry about who's the boss. It's about the players. Let the players play. Give them something to go by and then let them play. You hear me say a lot in practice. One of my favorite sayings is figure it out. I hate questions like what if questions. So a player will ask me, what if this happens on the court, or what if? My response to that is figure it out. Let them play the game and figure it out. Rather than trying to coach you can't coach every play. You can't coach everything that's going on the court. Let them figure it out. It gives them some ownership. Number 9, thinking your philosophy is more important than personnel. That means high school coaches that have, one year you might have a 6'6" player, and another year you have a 6'2" player in the post area, and you're doing the same thing. Well, you're going to have to adjust yourself a little bit. Philosophy is not X's and O's. Philosophy is not X's and O's. Philosophy is your culture. Number 10, last one. Falling in love with drills. Falling in love with drills. We do, we see a lot of drills and they have really nothing to do with what you're doing in your system. So if you're not really a full court press guy, there's really not a lot of reason to use a full court press drills. If you're running a ball screen offense, there's not really a need to run a lot of shooting drills that work on a flex game or across. So do drills that fit to what you're doing. Make them what you want to do. And evaluate the drills. I think that's a common mistake. So those are kind of 10 common mistakes that we have. I think high school coaches make. Okay, give me come on here, guys. Any quick questions before we go on? Yeah, you mind.
You said, not setting up time with your players.
Yeah.
What have you found in your experience has been the best way outside the court just to spend some time with players and get to know them?
Yeah, a couple things we do. We always have players over our house for a meal or just to watch a game or something. And that's not, maybe you can't do that, but that's a good way to get them. I want them to see a lot of our kids at Iowa City High did not have mom, did not have two parents. So I want them to see what a good marriage is, what we do as a husband and wife, how we help each other. I might seem kind of corny. I think in the long run it really goes a long way. We'll go bowling. We'll have all our team at our maybe go together to a University of Iowa basketball game, pizza. We do community service. We go to our local Ronald McDonald's and we clean the whole. We make a meal for all the people there and we clean the whole Ronald McDonald's. Short-sighted games really is not violent. I don't think you should be at the high school level. I think the most you should scrimmage is 15 to 20 minutes in practice. That's just my own personal opinion. I've changed my opinion over the years. But we do a lot of 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 2-on-2 types. I think we learn a lot that way, and we try to put that into a 4-on-3. If you're coaching, if you have control of your youth grades, I would not allow them to set ball screens until 8th grade. We do that with our players. I don't want ball screens set in 3rd grade. Because you know what? For the younger levels, well, they all do anyway when somebody has a ball. Come right to the ball with it. Here's the ball. So we want to keep away from the ball. And if you set ball screens in, now we're not teaching them proper space to keep away from the ball. So, here's some of the things we'll do just to start with our, we do this 9th grade, 10th grade, even our varsity. Even though we do run a ball screen continuity with our high school team and with our U17 team. But we do this with our U17 team as well. We're talking about the best players in our country, trying to develop a little bit of what we want to do. So we're going to pass, cut, fill. Okay. So now we're just going to pass, cut, and fill. Stop. Okay, now, having said that, then we're going to go 3-on-0, and then we go 3-on-3. Now we don't have the defense out here, but now the defense will have to cover what we tell the offense they have to do. So the other thing we emphasize is get the ball swung. We call it, terminology is really important. So your players have to understand your terminology. So swung from one side to the other means the ball crosses the rim line. So the rim line goes from rim to rim in a straight line. The ball needs to cross that. All right, let's do the same drill, but don't cross the rim line. Keep it on the same side. All right, fill. Pass, cut basket, cut, fill. Okay, stop. So that's to get the ball on the same side. Every defensive team you play against can defense your strong side. The worst team you play against will be able to defend your strong side. Okay? Here's an example. This past year we played in Spain. We kept track of shooting percentage and times we scored on these things. When he shot the ball without reverse the ball, without swinging, we shot 38%. So, the ball come pass out here, pass, set ball screen, right here, pass, set ball screen. He's coming off the ball screen, right? You get a shot at the ball. 38%. It's not very good. When we swung the ball from one side to the other, one time, the ball gets swung from one side to the other, our shooting percentage went up to 52%. 52%. Why? Why would you think it would go up that much? Because you're getting the defense to do what? Going from strong side to help side, and that's hard to do at the high school level. It's even hard to do sometimes at the college NBA level. I would say when you have to make the defense make decisions on how to cover you, you have the upper hand offensively. When you make, I don't care what offense you run, if you make the defense make decisions, your offense is going to be much better. So we run a ball screen offense. And so let's say, let's turn the ball, let's go 3 times now. Okay? Okay. Pass, okay. We got, good, stop. We got the ball swung this year with our U17 team. 3rd time across, we shot 73%. 38, 52, 73. And the ball getting swung 3 times. So I don't care what offense you run. Take a look at that. I mean, it's really a good thing for us to see. We charted it and kept track of it. Okay? Now what we'll do is, one thing offensive-wise, don't give your, I should say this, don't run set plays. I don't care what level. Run sets to play out of. Okay? So we're coming down, I see 5th graders, and that's what my first practice was. He was working on, corner set, doing, holy cow, our high school team did that. But don't run set plays. In other words, in our ball screen offense, we're making a pass right here. Don't make a pass. And number 1 might be, I go to the corner over there, dribble off that, whatever here. So we want to give players a set to play out of. To let them play out of the set. Here's an example of how we run our 3-on-0, 3-on-3. Okay, with that. Ball goes here. Now, go ahead and make a pass. Go to the corner. Go to the corner. Go to the corner. Now, after the pass, we're going to set a screen for our corner guy right here. He's coming off the screen. Okay? And we're going to do, might be a curl cut or whatever. Give them that much, and then let them play out of it. So when we go 3-on-0, 3-on-3, we do this quite a bit in practice, where now they just have to play out of it. So pass, screen, wait for it. Now, if he doesn't get the ball, what's going to happen? Now, let him just play out of it. Don't try and tell him, all right, now, you can give him some pointers and give him some direction to it, but if he comes off this curl cut and doesn't get the ball, let them figure it out. Let them figure it out. That's why you do it in a 3-on-3 type of set. So we'll give a lot of just 3-on-0 type of stuff, and then we'll put, all right, we'll go 3-on-3 and let them play out. I think 3-on-3, 4-on-4 is really develops the player's game. Spacing, whatever it is.
With the 3-on-0 situation, you just tell them right off the bat, no shots, just ball movement off that.
On 3-on-0?
Yeah.
Yeah, what we'll say is, here's what we're going to work on today. So, let's say you start down the post. You're going to make the pass over here. You cut away. You come up, L cut, set the screen right here. Now we're going to play off this. Okay, so we got a guy in the corner. We have a pick and roll on this side. coming on. So now we can look for here. Might get, we call this a kill area. When we get to the kill area, get a shot up right here. His man might stay in the lane. He's spotted up over there through space. Okay. So we'll bring that, run that set. So I'll show that set of 3-on-3, and then we'll do our 3-on-0. Run that again. Comes on. Okay. Now when we go 3-on-3, we'll play out that set. That's how they have to start 3-on-3. So if it breaks down a little bit, now they got to play out. And what made me go to this more is coaching some international basketball. Because you don't have really a lot of time to give a lot of different options. But let them figure out what they're doing. Okay. So now, do it again, same thing. That's part of what we're doing. Okay, stop. Now you're teaching spacing away from the ball screen. One of the things you want to keep aware of is the one thing, when you have a ball screen being set, the rule for everybody else on the court is get away from the ball screen. Get away from the ball screen. So when we teach our 8th grade our system, this is how we teach our 8th graders our system. And then they'll carry it. The same thing with 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, it doesn't matter. They don't put a 3-on-3, play out as a 3-on-3. Because now we got spacing here, we got spacing, working on the pick and roll there. Okay? Yeah.
So if they're playing a 3-on-3, let's say he doesn't score, defense gets the ball, does the defense run the same set and then they just play out of it until someone's, they should be basketball players. They're not, they don't have to come back and run the same thing necessarily. Or,
so if we're playing 3-on-3 and this is shots missed,
yeah.
Okay. Generally what happens is they're going to outlet it to the coach. The coach is going to start by making the first pass and they play out his pick and roll.
Got it.
So he's going to pass, cut away, and get into it.
Got it.
All right. The other thing, I mean, you can give whatever your, and what we'll do is sometimes we'll have a coach as a fourth player in, so he'll be on offense. So you're going really 4-on-3. So if the coach is right here, go over there. Okay, you're going to go down that side. You come right here. So yeah. So maybe you're running flex for an offense. So as he comes up, I want to make my first pass right here. Turn here, set the screen, and you're doing a flex pad. Okay. Go to the basket. Okay. Now you will come up. So now you're given that first set, and you're letting it play out. Okay. My feeling is too often we try to overcoach the game. Try to overcoach the game just because, coaches want a lot of control. And if we really only knew that we have very little control what happens on the court, we're talking about that. Because we really don't have a lot of control what goes on the court. So that's why you give them sets to play out of, and then let them play out of it. The other one I know Marshall did yesterday is a 4-on-4 cutthroat. How many have run cutthroat before? Okay, so you're familiar with what it is. So on cutthroat, what we'll do is we'll have 4. That's required. So we'll have 4 players go. 4. So we'll give them. They have to do this to start cutthroat. In other words, if you're out here with the ball, and I have a player right here, you're that way, you're that way. Move back a little bit. So here's an example. We'll play cutthroat. All right, I'm going to shoot the high post right here because it's our offense. He may go back door. He can jab it and go. Now we're going to play out of this. I have the downstream coming out or whatever. Okay. So now you're playing cutthroat with that set. And then the next set that comes out, you're doing the same thing with the way the 4-on-4 evolves to the game. Make the players better. So any questions on that? Okay, now also with again small-sided games, anything is, to me, like I said earlier, small-sided games, everything is not a 5-on-5 situation. So we'll start teaching our fast break from this same type of set. So you guys start down here at the baseline. Okay, so now what we do is we begin with our young kids, and as we get older, our JV and even our varsity, early in the season, we'll start our fast break situation in this way. So they have to make good decisions. I mean, basically, what is fast break offense entail? It entails running the court and making good decisions. But don't take the decision making away from the players, because they got to make decisions on the court. Okay, so you're going to come out here. You guys, the outside two guys got to touch the black line. You got to touch the red line right here, and you're going to be back on defense. You guys, I'll pass the ball, let me attack it. Okay, go. Okay, so now you are implementing a 2-on-1 situation in a half court that really is part of your fast break offense. Okay. And when you do this now, you're going to kind of let them play and understand a little bit. Give them some basic rules. What we do is, anytime you see one player back on defense, that's the number of passes you should make to complete a shot. So, if how much time?
4 minutes.
4? How about 3, 4.5? Okay. All right, so as we come out on this, come on again. We have one player back. We should make one pass in order to get a shot. So that's kind of a rule you tell them. The other thing is attack the basket until the defender picks you up. So now let them play a few times after that. Okay, now we go 3-on-2. We'll have 2 more lanes right here. The inside 2 are going to be out here. They'll touch the blue line and go back to defense. So these 3 guys will be on offense. They'll come out and touch the black line. And you know what? You're not going to get very rarely in a game you get a tandem set on defense. I mean, I look at a lot of game film, and defense piggyback is very rarely in a tandem set. So this will create 2 defenders. The 2 defenders coming out now have to decide who's got the ball. They're not really in a tandem set. And one guy will be back, maybe he gets back there. So now we're playing 3-on-2 in this type of set. So it's a small-sided game to develop your fast break offense, and let it play out. So if they see 2 defenders back, we likely get a basket or a shot down in 2 passes. If you take 3 or 4, then you better get back out, it's not the fast break. So that's part of a small-sided game that I call to develop a fast break situation. Any questions? I know Bree's giving me the thumbs up. So. Any questions? Thanks, guys. Give them a hand.
You said 20 wasn't actually what would be just a general skeleton?
Great question, and I'll tell you what, I get more emails on conducting practice than I probably get on any other. Quick story, Frank, don't lose that question. I used to go watch Brad Stevens practice a ton. My son lives in Indianapolis, and he was in Butler. I used to go for a week or 2 and just go to every practice he had. So I got to know him pretty well. It was amazing. I was taken aback because he would act. The first time I visited with him, I said, yeah, I've been to Indiana. I go to Purdue to watch practice. And he wanted to know how they conducted practice. Here's Brad Stevens, who's probably one of the better coaches in the country, and he wanted to know how somebody else conducted practice. So I think, we're kind of all the same. Are we sure this is what we want to do in practice? Just be true to yourself and what you feel comfortable. Our practice session is an hour practice session for you. I would go the first 20 minutes would be on footwork, passing, for 20 different types of things, different types of drills. Then I'd spend 15 minutes on shooting. shooting, just shoot the basketball. And here's what we tell our young players. If you're a third grader or fourth grader, you're shooting a 10-foot basket, start the ball off the knee, rub the elbow on the hip, shoot it. That's all the instruction we give them for shooting. So now they can all remember that. So if they're shooting basketball, it's here, rub that elbow against the zig. And they can remember that and they can teach themselves that. So I started shooting on that. Then I would go 2 on 0, 2 on 2, 3 on 0, 3 on 3 for a good 20 minutes. And then we might go 3 on 3 games to shoot. I mean, let them play. Keep score, let them play 3 on 3. So we're keeping score every day. On our cutthroat at our high school level, we keep score on cutthroat. In other words, we have winners and losers in the cutthroat. We keep a tally on who wins and who loses. And you still want that competition that they factor. Starting in 8th grade, 9th grade, we probably go 5 on 5 about 15 minutes a day. And what we do on that, we validate everything. So we'll win. If these guys win their 3 on 3, they got to validate with a free throw. If they miss a free throw, then we got to keep playing. So validate what you do with that. Same thing with the 5 on 5 situations. We'll go. We may go. All right, we're going 3 times up and down. And let them, don't stop it, let them play 3 times up and down. And then you might want to say, Coach, after those 3 times on 5 on 5 situations, then I'll agree with Coach, all right, this time, when we do a little better job, we got to do a little better job of coming off the ball screen. Or, what I like to do a lot is we'll go 5 on 5 for maybe 3 or 4 times up and down the court, and then we'll break down to a drill that we need to work on, something that we saw in practice. Hey, we got to really work on this more. So we'll break it down and we'll put it back. So that's whole, part, whole teaching. So I can get off of this from now on. Any other questions? Okay, my email, just to give it to you. I will answer your email if you want information I will answer your email within 24 hours. I guarantee you. Now, I may answer you to say, hey, I got your email, and we'll respond later with the information, but I'll answer your email in 24 hours. It's D, my first initial D, and then Showalter, SHOWALTER, at usabasketball.com. D. Showalter at usabasketball.com. And, do a great job where you're at. That's how you get better. If you're interested in volunteering with USA Basketball, go online, fill out a form so we know what areas you'd like to volunteer in. We have a lot of things going on with the academies, with our regional camps, with our clinics, youth clinics, with our open court and stuff. So we're really getting into more of that. There's about 4 of us on staff, 5 of us on staff. So we look for volunteers. Appreciate the attention.